Jay, there aren't a lot of men who are as honest as you are and honest as I am. And what I'm discovering, man, and this is not to take the conversation left, but
Take it left, brother.
we're dealing with a generation of women who are not ready for the men who they told to go heal. Right? You told me to go heal. You told me to go get therapy. And now I'm back and you're not ready to be accountable. That's a problem. You told me to heal. You said, Negro, you need therapy. You need to go get a mentor. You need to be around some brothers. I did all of that. And now you're not able to hold yourself accountable. Now we have a problem because now I've got to drag you when you once dragged me.
Where do we go from here, Dave?
Home. The hell out of here. That's where we go. That's where we go. We got to go home because, and what I mean by that is, as men now, it's okay for us to say, you're not for me. There was a time when we couldn't say that because we were trying to appease you.
Yeah, a lot of.
Now you're not for me, sis. I've done the work. That's the other conversation, though.
Bro, you can keep digging in that, man, because you're bringing so much clarity, man, because I've heard women so much, he needs to do this, he needs to do that, and I'm seeing brothers now choosing themselves.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And brothers are like, and they're choosing themselves over the physicality.
Yes,
they're
sir.
choosing themselves over a moment of pleasure. Brothers are choosing peace.
Yeah.
Brothers are like, man, I'll sit at home watching Netflix by myself because it brings a sense of peace. Because what I think is happening, men are learning that they are deserving
Yes,
of a
sir.
quality of life that they never told that they could have, because we often heard that happy wife, happy
Yes,
life.
sir. That's a lie. Yeah, that's a lie. Yeah, that's a lie. And so now I'm finding out I have a right to feel too. When you started feeling, Jay, that changed things. When I can feel, now I can connect to my environment. Now I don't like the way that makes me feel.
Wow, man, so many gems in this video. Shout out to the content creator. And let me see where I want to start with this, right? I want to start here. I want to start here by saying, first and foremost, this is one of the things that on my channel I've always pushed to men, which is part of the journey of becoming more masculine, part of the journey to becoming a real man, right? Which is we have to clean out our psychological, our spiritual closet to be able to heal, to be able to start then to grow, right? We had to create a new slate. We had to clean the slate. We had to clean out the closet and make room for new things. And that starts with therapy. And this is something that I've been always candid with on my channel, that I've went to therapy, right? And there's 3 things I addressed it. And I won't go into the details because that's my personal business, but I will share this insight, which was I wanted to address 3 things. Number 1, I wanted to address my mother's death. For many of you don't know, my mother died when I was really young. The second thing I wanted to address was the relationship with my father. And the last thing was my childhood. After my mother passed, me moving in with my aunt and uncle and my childhood. It's a lot going on with that. But those were the 3 things that I needed to address because I felt like I came to a point in my life, I arrived to a point in my life where I felt like my ceiling cap was hit, right? I felt like I hit the ceiling. And I was in a place where I knew that there was more, but I just couldn't seem to get past this blockage, right? And until I went to therapy and I was able to really unpack and address those things and ask the right questions, receive feedback without being judged, just to be able to, and someone to challenge those thought processes as well. That's when it became a situation where at that point I can start to grow, And even with that being said, and again, just being honest on my channel, being candid, this helped me and allowed me to be able to go back and apologize and attempt to fix different relationships with people in my life. And not that everything was like it was bad relationships, right? But I knew that I needed to go back and say, hey, this is where I played a part in these problems, right? And I wanted to lay that out to say, hey, we all make mistakes, but I just want to say, hey, I'm sorry for my part that I played in this. You understand? And it was just wonderful to be able to go back and do that once I realized, and that just grew me as a man, right? Because a lot of times we don't put ourselves in each people's shoes. But let me not go too far away from the video. But I say it all that to say, man, me sharing this little part of me going to therapy is what helped me heal. So what the content creator was saying was, look, the women said, hey, as men, you guys need to go to therapy. You need to get around other men who may be of higher caliber. You need to get a mentor, right? These are things that help you as a man to grow. And so now what he's saying is, hey, we done the work. We did these things you women asked us to do. Now that we're coming back saying, hey, we've healed, we've grown, we've created boundaries and standards for ourselves. Now you guys don't want to do the same. Right? And so now that we're realizing that women, and not all women, but a lot of women, hey, you guys don't want to do the same thing at this point, because we're awake, right? Now we're conscious to what's going on. Now that we're healed, we can see how our environment is. We can see the moods of other people who we used to have the same moods, right? We used to have the same emotions. We're conscious and aware of those. And so we don't want to be a part of that. We're going to create boundaries for us to be able to keep our peace. You follow me? So this is why it's so important, man, for you guys. And I always say it, to heal, because it creates an awareness. It creates an awakening inside of you to say, man, let me fix myself before I try to fix anybody else. Let me point the finger at myself before I point the finger back at anyone else. Let me take accountability. Right? Let me fix my own ish in my own personal house. You follow me? So with that being said, as they go on with this interview, you know, one of the things that they said was, now that men are healed and they want their peace, you know, women are having a problem. And with that problem, we're realizing, hey, it's not really a problem. It's just the wrong information was told to us. Right? The wrong information about happy wife, happy life. I've never agreed with that. I've always said, hey, a happy man follow the plan. You follow me? You want a happy man, follow the plan. But I also hold men accountable to say you need a plan first before you even get with a woman, you even want to attempt to get married. It's okay for a while. Not, you know, when you're young, listen, your hormones are everywhere. You know, you want to rip and run, jump on this, jump on that. Hey, every man go through that. But at some point, you have to have some dick discipline. And I just got to say it like that. We have to be straight up now. Man, you need dick discipline. And you don't get that until you start to know what you really want and you get purpose driven. You understand? When you get purpose driven, you don't get distracted like what they said about, you know, quick, immediate pleasures. You don't get distracted by porn. You don't get distracted by women at work who throwing themselves at you, or just women out in the world who throwing themselves at you, because you want your peace. And because you put the work in, you've healed, right? You've hit the gym. You've started to get your finance together. You started to organize your life. You started to organize your time. And you start to create boundaries to protect that. And that's protecting your peace. When you have your life in order, shout out to my uncle, RIP, church, get your house in order. When you have your life in order, you create guardrails around that. So if you bring any woman inside of that, she has to bring value inside of what you've built. But you can't complain when you haven't built anything, man. You haven't built the life that you want. That doesn't mean you need to be super rich. But it does mean you need to have your life in order. Every day when you wake up, you should know, hey, when I wake up and I finish praying, I finish meditating, I finish getting my daily ritual started, I know it right after that, what I'm doing. Right after that, what I'm doing. Right? You have a game plan for your life every single day, every week, month, year out. That way, when you meet a young lady or a woman and she said, hey, you know, what's kind of your plans for the future? She trying to figure out what she can fit into that plan. You have it already laid out. And guess what that does? That right there is going to make or break that woman to say, man, whew, you know what? I don't think I can deal with him. This guy's a lot. And not in a negative way, meaning I don't have, it puts a mirror to them to say, look, if I come in this man's life and he got all this stuff in order, if I try to squeeze in where he don't want me to squeeze in at, he gonna kick me to the sides because he has guardrails up. He has boundaries. He has borders. And guess what? Another thing that's so powerful about this, right? Let's say you already in a relationship. Let's say you already married, right? And you start to heal. Let's say your marriage isn't going right. You start to do the work. You start to heal. You start to get in shape. You start to get closer to God. You start to get your money right, right? Maybe you guys ain't been on the same page at all. You start to do all that. Guess what that's going to do? One or two things. Either that woman that you with is going to level up with you, or you're going to figure out real soon and real quick that, hey, I got to move away. Because this person, now I'm conscious, I'm awake that this person isn't fitting into what I need to be the man to lead. She doesn't fit the plan. Because now I'm awake and I'm aware that I have a plan and she doesn't fit that now. So now I got to make a decision. But when you're not aware, when you haven't done the work to heal, and you living in chaos, you living out of order, you follow me? You can't make those type of decisions. You can't. So this is why, shout out to the content creator, that they put this very, very clean and simple in perspective about why men need to heal, why men need to do the work. A lot of men are here like themselves, them two brothers there. They doing the work. They did the work. And they can speak eloquently about it. They can articulate about it. Right? This is the same thing with me. I did a lot of effing work, man. I did a lot of work on myself. And I'm not even finished. But the fact that I can speak on it and I know what the hell going on, let you know real quick. It's a lot of men like us who are speaking to you guys and want to help. Again, we don't know everything, but we can give you a lot of game that we have to help you get started on your journey. So it's just so important, man, to continuously do the work, right? Heal, get in the gym, get your finances right, get your daily task in order. Just write a schedule down. Hey, this is what I'm doing from when I wake up at 6 o'clock, 5 o'clock, until I lay down at 9, 10 o'clock. I need every hour by the hour, this is what I'm doing. If I'm at work from 8 to 5, I'm at work. That's a whole block. When I get off from 5 to 6, 6 to 7, and so on until I get into bed, you need to know what you're doing. That don't mean you don't have an hour for free time. Shoot, from 8 to 9, hey, this is my time. This is my downtime. Right? I'm shutting it off. I gotta shut my brain off that way I can rest it and get ready for tomorrow. You can have time for yourself. So look, man, beautifully said. These two brothers was cooking. Hopefully I was able to share a lot of value. If I did, hit that like button, subscribe, and share this video out, man. I think this is a powerful message. I think it's a powerful message that many men need to hear. And hell, even some women may need to hear this, right? Because it speaks truth. So with that being said, I appreciate y'all. Much love. Peace.